We are live. Hi, everybody. Hey, Verity. Thank you guys for being here on both channels. I have some announcements to go over. I just want to, communicate to you guys. You see the little bing, bing, bing. That is the Nora Ames Legal Defense Fund. My hair is getting long, guys. It's getting there. But yeah, we're doing a little fundraiser today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys can, look at that, check out the QR code. The link will be dropped by my mods for the GoFundMe. But that is still live. We've gotten, as you guys can see, $999 in, which is amazing. The retainer is $5,000, guys, and we have 2 court dates coming up. 2. So when just to do some civil litigation 101, okay? Civil litigation 101. When somebody files any type of civil action on you, right? You are the respondent, or in a criminal case, you would be the defendant, right? And that person is the petitioner or the plaintiff, right? So, but in civil cases, the plaintiff is the petitioner. So, on the 28th, which is next Tuesday, the case where I am the respondent is coming up. That's the next hearing for that. And as some of you may know, I did file my own restraining order on the petitioner. So now he is the respondent and I'm the petitioner in a separate case. The first hearing for that will be on November 4th. Wow, Rachel. Thank you for being here for 14 months. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a member. That is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, and this is a link for the GoFundMe. If you guys can go there, I'll put it back up on the screen here. It's this one right here. And this would be amazing, 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 amazing if you guys could go here and help out. So now I have 2 legal cases going, guys. I have the same lawyer for both cases. However, she's being kind to me, and helping me out, in terms of the fees, and is doing this, for less money, but now it's 2 cases. So I do need to give her like minimally the retainer, guys, which is $5,000. So we need to raise more money. Also, it does cost me money to go to Los Angeles to appear at these things. That's just facts. Tickets are purchased, and Los Angeles is a destination for me coming up here in the next couple weeks. So that's what's going on with that. But I wanted to give you overall news because some people might be like, what's this lawyer like? Is she good? Is she not good? What's up? So yesterday was a court day for the petitioner against me and the respondent in my case, same person. And well, I'm just going to show you guys this video from Sister Bright Zoe, and you guys tell me how the day went. You guys can tell me how the day went. Okay, we're going to watch this here together.
Was the hearing for the motion to quash subpoenas in Mindy Willens versus Zero Dark Tony, also known as Anthony R. D'Amato Jr. Let's just say it didn't go how D'Amato probably expected. I was present, as well as others who had received a subpoena in the case, including Clea and Dodge. William Gudd, through his attorney, had also filed a motion to quash, but that motion was scheduled for another day. Counsel present were Merritt McKean for the petitioner, Mindy Willens. Marianne Borselli stood in for Stephen Tamer, who represents Zero Dark Tony. First red flag: no Tamer, no Tony. The judge, Kimberly Rebecca, opened by saying she'd reviewed all the filings. The issue at hand today was whether the subpoenas D'Amato's lawyer filed should be thrown out. The judge started by walking through the use of discovery in civil harassment cases. This was in response to the arguments made in the motion to quash that discovery isn't allowed in this case. The judge's response was that discovery isn't an automatic right, but it's also not forbidden. If there's good cause, it can be allowed. She can grant discovery if there's good cause. For example, if a petitioner had control over a piece of evidence like surveillance that could be used as part of a respondent's defense, then if the respondent made a motion to have that turned over, the judge could see good cause and grant that. However, that's not at all.
So just to be clear there, Merritt, my lawyer, Miss McKeon, was arguing that it did not apply in a civil case. Okay, because discovery generally is not part of a civil case. It's not part of the law, but as Hero Light Cody here, as his online presence is pointing out, okay, it's up to the judge's discretion. Okay, it's up to the judge's discretion whether or not they allow that in. Okay, so this was the discussion going on in the courtroom.
What Tamar and Tony tried to do here. They just issued a slew of subpoenas without telling anyone, hoping to get information from Google, Reddit, and X about account holders.
That is facts. They wanted people's social media information. Okay. And like deep information from the apps, like your watch hours, who you're watching, who you're messaging, what you've liked, what you haven't liked, where you've commented, what were the comments, all of that. They wanted YouTube, Reddit, and like other social media apps to turn over to them.
The judge then addressed the subpoenas themselves. She said they were overbroad, irrelevant, and her words, concerning. She brought up the online statements from D'Amato himself. The statements were the ones I cited in my objection. My objection, as well as Clea's, were an exhibit in the motion.
So they did write out, Hero Light Cody did write out an entire objection in which he quoted the petitioner against me and the respondent in my case, their exact words that they used when describing what they were going to do with this information once they had it.
Those quotes, where he joked and laughed about using subpoenas to harass people, were part of my exhibit, and today the judge said they caused her concern. So yeah, he laughed about these objections when Clea and I served them a few weeks ago. But now he seems silent on the matter. When the judge asked for an explanation, Borsellino admitted she didn't have one. She said she'd been in another trial earlier that morning, ran back to her office to log on, and couldn't reach Tamar. She called, texted, emailed, nothing. So
this is the judge that he's talking about. The judge was trying to reach the attorney for the defendant respondent person.
There was no good cause argument. She had no idea what cause he had to subpoena the information. So the judge granted the motion to quash. She said D'Amato already had the opportunity to justify those subpoenas and didn't. She called them a fishing expedition and said they looked like harassment.
Now that's the judge's words, not mine. That's the judge from yesterday in Mindy Willen's case. That's a quote from the judge. We're just quoting judges here.
She sounded pretty annoyed. McKeon also made an ask for sanctions in the form of attorney's fees. McKeon also pointed out that most of the records D'Amato subpoenaed weren't even about her client. They were about other people. Some of those same people are the ones D'Amato has been filing restraining order cases against all over Los Angeles County.
That is also a fact.
McKeon called it all crazy, seeming to try to persuade the judge that there's more going on with what D'Amato is trying to accomplish. The judge didn't disagree. There was a short detour about subpoenas being sent to wrong addresses. The judge said she wasn't assigning bad faith over that. But in regards to the subpoenas themselves, she said Tamar better have a good explanation for why he's seeking them in this case, because it's a fishing expedition, it is harassing witnesses, and it is wasting the court's time and judicial resources in order to do it.
Yeah, 100p.
Judge Rebecca didn't decide sanctions yet, but she gave Tamar a deadline, November 13th, to file a supplemental reply explaining the supposed good faith behind it all. She scolded Tamer through Ms. Borselli, saying he had agreed to today's date for the hearing, and that there were even other dates offered. So the judge was not willing to extend the case any further to accommodate him, since he had written what she called a bare-boned reply to the motion as it was. Now Tamer has one last chance to defend that the subpoenas were made in good faith. If he doesn't, she said he should expect her to award attorney's fees to the petitioner.
So, November 13th, there'll be another hearing to determine if he files the right paperwork. This is the lawyer, Tamer. If he files the correct paperwork, maybe he doesn't have to pay Merritt's fees. We'll see. Yeah. That would be, and she's not cheap, y'all. She is not cheap.
In the end, the judge set the next hearing for November 20th. She made it clear the subpoenas are dead. Both motions to quash are granted. The only thing left to decide is whether Tamer gets sanctioned for issuing them without good cause.
So just as a note, I don't know his real name. It's been thrown around, but Crackhead Kenny, I know he has other online names, but he also has a motion to quash, which will be heard tomorrow in the courtroom where I have my cases, okay, with the same judge that Kenny and I have the same judge. So tomorrow, Kenny's motion to quash comes before the judge. Now, this finding doesn't mean that Kenny's will necessarily be successful, because the petitioner in that case, same as mine, has an opportunity to present their own evidence, and this judge is very good. The judge that I have, I think she's a very reasonable judge, and really, just in what I saw her adjudicating other cases, she really takes the time to listen and hear both sides, right? So I think that both sides will be able to present whatever evidence that they have, and move forward from there. Yeah. So let's watch the rest of this here just real quick.
My takeaway? The judge was patient but unimpressed. She saw right through the nonsense. Borselli probably felt like she got dropped into a disaster. McCann and Mindy came ready. And Mr. D'Amato's own words, the ones he laughed about being included in the objections, are now part of the official record that sank his subpoenas. The subpoenas are quashed.
Everything that you say or do in a courtroom can and will be used against you in that courtroom or in future cases. This is the other part of civil litigation, guys, about any civil case, whether it's a restraining order or anything else, right? You're suing your neighbor because their dog shits in your lawn. Every piece of testimony, every piece of evidence that you submit, everything that you do in that case, in the course of that case, is recorded. And all of those actions or inactions or being late or whatever will be used against you in the future. They will take note of that and be like, wow, we don't trust this person as a truthful, honest person, right? Because of all of these things that have stacked up. And the judges also talk about that. Oh, I can pull that up. Let me pull that up here. That is and we can go over that because the objections were really good. The objections that Cody listed were very good. I'm scrolling through the Reddit here and it's just so much stuff. I must have passed it. Is it somewhere else, Zoe? Besides in the Reddit? Here we go. No, that's not it. I think almost. Someone's yeah, don't sue people for dog poop. That would be my suggestion, but that's just me. Oh, is it here? Do. No. Nope. I remember seeing it. Oh, not that. I can't click on the link. I will hang on. I have to go on another thing to click on that link because I can't do it here in this format, but I'll get it. Hang on. Do. Where is the linky link? Can you send it to me? Oh, there we go. All right, let's bring this up here. Mama. Let's there we go. Okay. So I'm gonna read it to you guys because well, let me see if I can make it fit in the screen. No, it's gonna do that weird thing. Okay. So this was the here we go. I'm just gonna read it to you guys, but so this went to the Google Legal Investigation Support and to the attorney for the petitioner respondent. Okay. Um Objection to subpoena, Mindy Willens Mindy v. this person, Elliot, and this is the case number. Okay, that's all public information. Um, I am the anonymous account holder for the YouTube channel Hero Light Cody. I hereby lodge a formal objection pursuant to California Code Civic Procedures 1985.3 and 1985.6 to the subpoena issued by Mr. Tamer on behalf of this person, identified in Google's notice internal reference number. That one. This email constitutes my written. What happened? Okay, I'm still here. My screen just broke. I don't know why it did that. Or did we get bounced? Nope, I'm still here. Okay. Can you guys still see the pic? You guys can still see the picture. It's so weird. It's not appearing up here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, basis of objection, non-party irrelevance. I'm not a party or a witness in the underlying restraining order. My identity is private. My identity and private account records are not relevant to the claims in the case. Privacy and anonymous speech. The subpoena seeks to unmask me by demanding identifying information and private account content. Compelled disclosure would invade my privacy under California Constitution and constitutionally protected anonymous association and speech. The Supreme Court and other authorities protect anonymous association and speech where disclosure would produce a risk of retaliation, citing the case law, love it, improper purpose, harassment, doxing, and threats. The respondent has repeatedly used public information platform to threaten, intimidate, and to state in his intent to use subpoenas to unmask critics. Representative non-redundant excerpts from preserved recordings are attached. Okay, so let's go down here. So these are the quotes that are in here. This is Exhibit A. This is from July 31st, and this is the video ID here. So go ahead and flap your fucking dick soaker, Cody, because when I find you, I'm going to ruin you and everything about you because we're going to put it all out there. I don't know what a dick soaker is. That sounds like a water gun. That is phallic. Yeah. If a little maggot like Cody ever got into the fucking ring with me, they wouldn't walk out. They would leave on a stretcher. Cody's a pussy. Cody's a bitch ass little pussy. Remember, these are not my words. Pray to God that I am never in a room with you. If I do snap, Cody, yours is the first house I would go to. If I still did illegal things in my life, if I had a mindset of psychopathy and illegality, Cody, you would be gone. Here's the thing about people like Clea and HLC. You want to be part of putting me in jail falsely and lying about it? Well, I'm going to get out one day. How about that? And you're going to be, you're the first fucking people I would come for, just so you know. Once we get all their internet shit, we're going to have their ID, address, and locations. That's oddly specific, right? There's a lot more of these guys. So I got the what you call it. Oh yeah, finishing up the subpoena work. That's going to be coming back within 21 days. We're one step closer, and we're going to find them. You motherfuckers did this, boy. You guys having a surprise coming to you. They are deliberately avoiding detection. You fucked. Oh, you are fucked, you idiots. It's just a lot of a lot of threats. A lot of threats here. Yeah. So yeah. That's it's a lot of stuff. Yeah. I gotta I gotta fix this one because I can't see the thing that I'm sharing and it's not letting me click and do another one. So let me just do another one here that I can see because I cannot see. All right, let's go back to that. All right, so that's the legal schmiegel stuff. Why can't I see this? Can you guys see? Good gravy, Nora. You guys can't see nothing. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Still can't see it. Okay. Well, this is not going to work out for me for the rest of the thing here. Let me just now I'm just doing these things on the fly, guys. And still nothing. What is going on? Let me get rid of that here. Let's try it again. So weird. Let's stop sharing it and then we'll go and we'll share it and see if it works. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Got it. Back to the GoFundMe. Okay, so there's that. Now, the other thing that happened yesterday is that my petitioner respondent also, as Cody pointed out in the video, had filed 2 other restraining orders on people that he thought were Cody and someone else called Johnny Bravo, who I don't know who that is either, but that's their, like, they go by the cartoon character Johnny Bravo. If you never saw that back in the early aughts, I guess, or whatever, when that cartoon was out. But yeah, so 2 people got restraining orders files on them in California. That hearing was yesterday. There was 2 hearings that happened yesterday. The first one was actually these 2 restraining orders in the same courtroom where I see my petitioner respondent. The petitioner respondent didn't show up. He didn't show up. So those cases got automatically dismissed. Which is okay. Yeah. And then he did appear for Mindy's case, as you can see. His lawyer was 3 hours late because he forgot that he was supposed to show up in person and was on vacation in Greece. So there's that. Don't go out of the country when you have a case pending. That's my advice. That's my advice. Now, I'm a betting, well, I'm not really a betting person. But I'm willing to wager some money that my case will not go the same way. Pretty sure the petitioner on the 28th will be appearing. And he wasn't there in the motion hearing. I thought he was. So he wasn't there either. Interesting. Okay. So I want to go over I just want to go over a couple things here, guys. I take the law very seriously as a citizen of the United States, as just a law abiding citizen. As I pointed out when I was talking about the psychological trauma and terror that has happened to me as a result of this, and my hair, as you guys all saw, has been tremendous. Okay. I wanted to come on today because I needed to do right by my attorney. Wow, no, neither of them. I thought he showed up finally, but he wasn't dressed for court. Maybe I wasn't there, guys, so I don't know. Just a rando attorney showed up. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, the judge, I would be mad too. I would be really upset if a lawyer had picked a specific date and time and then didn't show up. Yeah, apparently the petitioner respondent is ill. I don't, okay. I hope he feels better. Being sick sucks. Like, I don't wish illness on anybody. Okay? That's not fun. Wow, it's even more of a disaster than I thought then. Okay. Well, yeah. So court didn't happen for him yesterday. Tomorrow, he has the hearing for KK's motion. We'll see if he shows up for that or not. I don't know. That's up to him. That's up to him. But what I want to talk about though is that 2 years ago, I did make a statement saying that I was going to take legal action. And honestly, guys, I looked into this whole thing and I did try to file twice here. As I've told you guys, I tried to file twice here in Oregon, once for a restraining order and secondly for a stalking, an order of protection, stalking protection, right? And both times per Oregon law was shot down. Because the petitioner respondent doesn't live here, right? So I was also told, by my local law enforcement that if he were a resident of anywhere in the state of Oregon, then they absolutely would have, launched a full investigation and criminal charges may have resulted from that. And so I was told by local police and the LAPD that this is a federal matter because it takes place between states. So that once these restraining order situations are are done, that may be my next step, to sit down, with the FBI and present all of my evidence to them, and give them a little picture book of all the things. Um, but first, I definitely want to finish up, uh, these things. In terms of his criminal proceedings, the next court date for that is the 29th, the day after our second hearing for his issuance of a civil restraining order on me. Um, so yeah, but I am prepared. I have Merritt by my side. We are ready to go. And as you guys can see, she is not to be trifled with in the courtroom. So I am very excited to have our day in court, and I am going to be much better about letting my lawyer do the talking and me, uh, you know, sitting quietly and pretty while the trained people do those talks. Um, but yeah, that's an interesting point that you're bringing up, Beachcomber. I actually have the definition of that up because I wanted to talk about that. So let's just do that. Let's go to that and pull that up. Okay. So this is the definition of vexatious litigant. Okay. In California, a vexatious litigant is a person who repeatedly files frivolous lawsuits, motions, or other papers, or who unnecessarily relitigates issues that have already been decided. This behavior can lead to the court issuing a pre-filing order, which requires the individual to get permission from a judge before filing any new cases. A court order can also order the individual to post security to cover the costs of the opposing party. How a person is deemed a vexatious litigant. Okay. A person may be declared a vexatious litigant if they meet certain criteria, including repeatedly filing unmeritorious lawsuits, having at least 5 civil cases that have been finally decided against them or left pending for an extended period without a resolution within the last 7 years. So they give you a 7-year time period. And if you file 5 cases in that 7 years and they all go against you, hot dog. Okay, that's a long time period. I don't know who has time to do 5 cases. Relitigating the same issues, repeatedly trying to relitigate a case or issues that have already been finally determined against them by the same defendants. Frivolous tactics, engaging in tactics that are frivolous or solely intended to cause delay or harassment, such as filing unmeritorious motions or conducting unnecessary discovery. Consequences of being declared a vexatious litigant. Okay. Pre-filing order, the one that I told you about before. Security requirement. You got to put a down payment. It's like you don't got no credit with the court system now. You got to put a down payment, for your fucking case, basically. And then they keep a list. They make a list, y'all, of vexatious litigants. The Judicial Council maintains a list of individuals who have been declared vexatious litigants. Court clerks will not accept new cases from those on the list unless a judge grants permission. So that's serious consequences, guys. Now, there's also been some chatter from a couple individuals about different types of lawsuits that they are now going to be filing, which I find very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. As you know right now, and the reason why I'm bringing up these cases, number one, I obviously am involved in this legal schmiegel shit right now. I'm embroiled in it. Honestly, I had no intention of ever becoming embroiled in it. This was not the path that I wanted to go on, but I'm in it. And so I number one, I appreciate all the help that you guys have given so much. Thank you guys to everybody who's donated. All of that money is going to travel expenses and to the lawyer. That's the only place the money is gone. Um, so I cannot thank you guys enough for helping to make this a reality for me. Second thing, um, I don't I if you do something bad, okay? If you do something bad, and this is just in the general scope of the world, if there are laws and you break them in whatever way, shape, or form, and you get caught breaking those laws, and the state is now bringing a case against you, that's bad news bears. That's already bad enough, okay? But if you decide in the panic, and I understand the panic, guys. I understand the panic because just this civil litigation, which honestly would have no future consequences for me other than it would be on my record, which I don't agree with, which is why I'm fighting it. Like, I'm not going to jail. There's no criminal charges, right? It's not a criminal case. But there are 3 individuals in this community, okay, that are facing very serious criminal charges right now, okay? And the panic that I'm feeling with non-criminal charges, to me, I can't even imagine the panic, um, you know, that they're feeling facing serious criminal charges, okay? Um, now, in that instance, I am referring to, Scott, Aaron, and the petitioner respondent person. Okay, all 3 of them have outside of now. Only the petitioner respondent has multiple restraining orders that he's fighting right now. The other 2 just have criminal charges pending against them. They both have cases that are ongoing. In my personal opinion, again, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I would be focused 100% on not going to jail, on fighting those things, okay? But in the last couple days, 2 of the individuals have come up with brilliant ideas, as to how they are going to combat the evil, the trolls, the whatever they're labeling people who point out their bad deeds, you know, to harm the people who are telling truth. Okay. Um, the petitioner respondent suggested a John Doe case. The John Doe case law is very specific. Let me pull that up because I had that up the other day, but I don't have it now. Um, okay. So you're surrounded by Blue Jays fans. You know, Rox, here's a joke I heard, Rox, that I'm going to tell you guys. So, as you guys may or may not know, um, the president's, trumpety bump bump, his favorite sport is baseball. And the World Series is now Canada versus California. And I couldn't think of a sweeter, just to that man than that. So, yeah. But also, go Blue Jays. Okay. Sorry, Rox. I love you. Canadians play baseball too. Now, my wife asked an interesting question, Irish Mart. If the Blue Jays win the World Series, will Donald Trump invite them to the White House and will they have to go? He will absolutely not. Oh. Let's see here. That's the wrong. No, that's not it. Okay. Ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. Now I can't find the case law, but basically a John Doe case is if you have an anonymous online harasser, bully, whatever, and they go by, a name that isn't their actual name, you can file a case against them in California, marking them as a John Doe, and part of that case will be the discovery to find out who they are. Okay. Well, I know we just called it the World Series. It's the national pastime here, but there is a legit World Series that's happening later. It's the international. They call it the International Series, where we'll be playing teams from all over the world. So I agree with you, though, on that, Miriam. I think it should not be called. Joe, I am so proud of you for taking the time to learn baseball. I love that. What's up, Peter? All right. So let's go here. So I'm not going to show this video because I'm not interested in a copyright strike, but Scott, I believe, is still live. And at this point here in the video, at like the 54-minute mark, he says that he is going to use something called, false light to prosecute people. False light to prosecute people. I don't know who he's prosecuting, whether that's the people who have been following him around for a few years to say mean things about him, or other people. I have no idea but this is the false light statute. Okay. So in California, a false light claim is a type of invasion of privacy that allows a person to sue if they are portrayed in a misleading or offensive way that is not technically defamatory. To prove a false light claim, a plaintiff must show the defendant published material that placed them in a false light, highly offensive to a reasonable person. Okay. The defendant knew it has to be highly offensive to a reasonable person. The defendant knew or acted with reckless disregard for the falsity of the portrayal, and the plaintiff was harmed by it. This is the elements of it. Publicity. The defendant must have publicly disclosed information or material about the plaintiff. False impression. The publicity must create a false impression about the plaintiff that would be highly offensive to a reasonable person. This can be misleading implication, not just a false statement. Knowledge of falsity. The plaintiff must prove that the defendant knew about the falsity of the matter or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. For a private figure, the standard is clear and convincing evidence, while for a public figure, it is a higher standard. The plaintiff must show that they were harmed as a result of the false portrayal. How it differs from defamation. False light focuses on the misleading impression created by a publication, which may not technically be a false statement. Defamation requires a false statement of fact that harms a person's reputation. Truth is a defense for defamation, but not for false light. A false light claim can be brought even if the story is factually true, but implies something false. While defamation typically requires harm to reputation, for example, loss of business, false light focuses more on emotional and reputational harm, such as the plaintiff being disturbed by the false portrayal. I could file a lot of these, including against Mr. Hochstetter. Like this would prove to be not helpful in his case. This is what I'm saying. I don't know that Mr. Hochstetter fully recalls all of his words and statements that he has said, and he's been very diligent in deleting a lot of those from the internet after he says those. But also, one of his entire channels is gone. And as far as I know, he didn't have a backup for that because it was all published directly from his phone to YouTube and not recorded also separately in a separate place on a hard drive or something like that, right? I don't know how someone could stand on business and at this point in this game, okay, and be like, it's everybody else and not me. These people have hurt me. I have done nothing. Right? There are a few people who I can say that is honestly true. That is honestly true. No shit has come out of their mouth. Okay? About anybody. Okay? I'm going to use a person who's in chat here as an example, okay? Scientology up north. Scientology up north, hands are clean. Okay? Miriam has said nothing about anybody. Nothing. Right? And good honor. I can't say that I have never said anything about anybody because I have. We've all seen the videos. Okay? That's real talk. And this is not to say that Scott wouldn't have a valid claim about some of the things that have been said about him by some people. Right? I'm not trying to dismiss his feelings or how he felt. His reputation or life may have been harmed by those statements from other people, especially ones that are, patently false. I don't know that filing this when all of the things you've also said are out there on the internet is the best course of action. I would personally, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I would recommend against it. I don't think in the current climate that he's in, this is a good look. It's not going to convince a judge that the other things that have occurred that were of a alleged criminal nature that you're now standing trial for. I don't think that makes your case in your defense. Yeah. But that's my personal opinion. It goes the same. Now, I haven't heard, well, Aaron was allegedly suing me months ago. I haven't seen that. Again, I stand by what I said. And if that lawsuit comes my way, then I will be happy to, fight that in court. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, again, here's somebody who's facing very serious criminal allegations. And I would hope that the people who are advising, Aaron, who are around him constantly are telling him, hey, focus on your own shit, because that's important. It's very serious that Scientology has gotten an order of protection against him. And he can't go within 500 feet of any Scientology property. Like that's, especially when you live in that place and you're fucking surrounded by it. You're suing right now. Who are you? And who are you suing? Who are you suing? What's happening? It's a lot of shouting. Yeah. What I would, again, what I would tell people is like, I don't know. It's just, wow, why can't I see any of that? Interesting. Everybody's on the other channel. Okay. Yeah. Your dad. Oh, you're suing your dad right now. Okay. Well, good luck with that. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. He said to stop, and I did. Are we talking about Scott? Or are we talking about Aaron? Miriam. Miriam. Shh. You can say whatever you want. Miriam is an angel among us, guys, and she's doing the hard work. I think it's just Florida. I don't know because I haven't read the exact, I think it did read it, but I think it's just Florida where he lives. I don't know if it's everywhere, but I don't know. Because I think the person that they're trying to keep him away from is only employed in Florida. But it's a little weird to me that they were like, any property. He could be at any property at any time. Like, no, he can't. No, he can't. No. Security guards are assigned to one specific property. They don't just fucking, today I'm going over to the east side. Like, no, that's not what's happening. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, she's done now. I was gonna flip it over to audit, but she's all done now. But you know, audit's doing the real work out there, guys. She's doing the hard work. She's showing up every day. And you know, she's getting things done. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes people, you know, showing up every day to get that done. So that's, you know, that's what's happening there. My case is ongoing again, guys. Just to circle back to the beginning, there's 2 dates coming up. The October 28th. Hey, Sushi Full. Audit's having a break before the afternoon meetings. Okay. Well, you guys go back and see Audit later. She's taking a break before the afternoon. Back on at 2 p.m. in an hour, guys. In an hour, she'll be back. Yes. If you're watching, double tap. Thank you. Just give it a like. Listen, guys, I know I'm asking for money right now because lawyers are expensive, and there's 2 cases. There's the case I filed and the case that was filed against me. And so I need some help with that to be successful. And I appreciate any and all help that goes on. I appreciate any and all help that goes on. So if you guys can give to the GoFundMe, awesome. There's also my PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. If you're just watching, that helps me. If you like the stream, that helps me. I would just love help me help you. Yeah. And so I you know, I'm keeping a close eye on all of these things. If you guys want to know kind of like moment by moment what's happening, there are Reddits dedicated to that. Hero Not Zero is dedicated to following everything that's going on in the petitioner respondent's case. Definitely go check that out. There's, you know, there's a lot of good clips and things in there. You know, that give you information. And you guys make your own decision. If yeah, I just encourage people to, you know, make their own decisions about everything, kind of, you know. But yes, thank you. Here's the link for the GoFundMe. It's in the chat. Rocks drop that. As always, my Cash App. Cash App is the only one that's Oh No Nora 76. Venmo and PayPal are just Oh No Nora. There's the link tree. Yes, participating in chat helps the algorithm. You are correct, Professor Kakan. You are correct. You know, I just we gotta get back to work here and doing a lot of stuff, but I also gotta pay this lawyer, guys. I gotta be frank with you guys. You know, my restraining order is out for service. So you know, once that is served, I will let y'all know. You know, what's happening. I am trying to study the law as much as I can to make sure that I am playing and coloring in the lines. You know, restraining orders can be tricky. Sometimes they can say very specific things. Oh, Sister Bride Zoe, thank you for putting you know, the video with Cody out there. I appreciate that because it's a good recap of what happened. You know, sometimes they can say very, very specific things. Like you cannot at all say XYZ, right? In the case of mine, it's very specific, saying, you know, no direct contact. Um, that is not really up for interpretation. It's very exact. No calling, texting, emailing, um, and that kind of a thing. Social media, because it's not listed on there, is kind of like a gray area. Um, you know, but yeah, I have been focused in these last couple weeks on just um trying to heal as much as possible. Hey, Deb. Um, and I'll be honest with you guys. It has been slow going. Here's Sister Bright Zoe's channel. Please give her a subscribe. She does great work along with Cody. Oh, Stacy. Hi, Stacy. Love you. I'm so glad you're doing better. Oh, Deborah, that's right. You have been a member for 9 months. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm working on that, guys. I'm working on it. Today was a weird day. I woke up with like a blinding migraine in this eye where it's like, if you're a migraine sufferer, do you ever have those ones that it just feels like there's like literally like just like a hot poker inserted into your face somewhere? I feel like there's like a dagger like the size of this, just like in my face right now. And I took, some the pain medicine for that. And yeah. Are you mocking me, Matt? Are you just writing every time I say um? I do say a lot. And I say like a lot because I'm from the 80s and from California. So, yeah. So that's been my day on top of the mental everything. And I really want to again just thank you guys so much for giving me so much grace here. Everybody who remains subscribed, who sends me communications of all sorts, either in actual writing, like letters to my PO box, which you guys are welcome to do, or nice emails and things like that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and the support has really been overwhelming. You say it's because you're Scottish. Speaking of Scottish people, you guys have to watch The Devil's Hour. The Devil's Hour, I'm going to pull it up here. The Devil's Hour, holy, I'm in season 2 now. It's an older show. It's on, if for the Americans here, it's on Prime, but for you Brits, it might be on BritBox. This show, wow. So this is the show. Let's go here. It's from 2022, so it ran 2022 and 2023. Okay. Look at this cast. Amazing. Okay. So you have this woman. This is the first thing I've seen her in, Jessica Raine. So good. Peter Capaldi. Do I need to say anything else besides Peter Capaldi? Peter Capaldi. And if you guys are Ted Lasso fans, you got Phil Dunster in there. God, he's good. He's such a good. Oh, I just watched that also, Joe. Wayward insanity. I will say fully triggered by the show, right? Wayward. Very triggering. But yeah, The Devil's Hour. It is scary, Rocks. It is scary. It is amazing. Joe, if you liked Wayward, watch The Devil's Hour. That's all I got to say. and you get 2 seasons. 2 to binge. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see the John Candy documentary yet. It looks good. It looks good. Yeah. But, this show is yeah, I'm in the middle of season 2. I'm gonna probably finish that today, maybe. But I got a lot of other stuff to do. So we'll see. My work right now, guys, is very focused on compiling, um, all of the evidence for my case and, putting that in a format that will linearly tell the story, for the judge in my case. And so it's a lot of work. Um, it is, it's hard work. It's hard work because I have to sit and watch and transcribe and then edit together clips of another person talking about me in a way that has led not once but now twice to me being in the worst mental state that I've been in since 2002 when I left Scientology in a very dramatic fashion after attempting to unalive myself. That was um yeah, yeah. That was not good. So, I'm going to work on that too. I don't know, Deborah. I mean, I'm sure I could ask them to. I wouldn't here's how I feel about this assignment though, Deborah. Like I want to be honest with you. I don't I don't enjoy the fact that anybody has to help me with it. Um because it is so awful. It is, you know, this is probably my, my programming talking, but it's just like I don't want to I don't want to spread, this nastiness to anyone else. Unfortunately, I don't have control over that because thousands of other people already saw it. Um, you know, and what's up, Yadira? Um, there's no way to like put that Pandora back in that box, right? So that's just that's how that goes. It's just that's already happened. It just happens to have that particular uh detrimental effect to me personally. I can't speak for anyone else how they uh are or are not affected by that. I mean, obviously I have seen the comments in the chat celebrating these things and I don't understand that. I will never understand people who find pleasure in other people's destruction, defamation, just absolutely annihilation of another human. I don't get that. That's not my jim jam. Even towards this particular person that I have a legal action against, that's not my intention. Despite what other people might say or what they may personally feel. That's not my intention. My intention is to feel safe. Again, in my own skin and in my own space. And whatever consequences come as a result of that, if that is what happens, oh good. Well, let's bring that up. Let's pull up Dodge. We can watch that as we end off here. Dodge looking very dapper as usual in his fall attire here. Look at his little fall sweater. If I do that, oh, there we go. All right, let's check it. Let's check out Dodge.
Guys, hope you're well. Have a quick but important court update, or really almost a court report, because I was able to essentially show up to court without actually showing up to court. But I was able to get all the information because luckily I got Zoomed in. And so this might be an actual good answer for a lot of future hearings, for not having to spend the money to go all the way out to LA. Certainly for anything Mindy involved, I will be able to at least hear everything virtually. So that was a huge help. So even though I was not in the city of Los Angeles, I essentially was, because this is the first time that I'm able to relay info that only I could get, because obviously the court hearing wasn't public, that only I could have gotten, but without actually having to show up. So thank God that is a solution, and probably a very good solution I'll take advantage of. What happened today wasn't much, but it does show a diminishing of progress and momentum for ZDT, and will also, I think, portray a different outlook that the judge will have on him based on these actions. The big issue that happened yesterday in the battle of Minty trying to get her restraining order against ZDT, Zero Dark Tony, was the issue of the myriad of very smart and useful subpoenas. This would be a subpoena to get all of your Reddit posts, your YouTube posts, full access to your Google account, and this would be for a number of people. This would be for me. This would be for Hero Like Cody. This would be for Khalid. This would be for Johnny Bravo, as well as Streets LA. So quite a cadre of people that really don't have anything to do with Mindy, and don't really have anything to do with Mindy's case, but grasping at straws. ZDT obviously wants to try to harass people, and he feels like we'll all get scared and stop posting and stop talking about ZDT and apologize and back down. But I don't see Johnny Bravo not posting. I don't see Klee not continuing her advocacy, and she's been a key source of information for a lot of things ZDT. I don't see Streets LA shutting up or being scared anytime soon whatsoever. And even though he got his YouTube taken down, I don't see Hero Like Cody stopping anytime soon. And of course, I am not going to stop anytime soon. So that was the big effort. That was the big issue. Tamer didn't even have an explanation as to why these subpoenas should happen. He essentially said, they're all part of this. They've all been harassing my client. The judge didn't buy it, and the judge called what ZDT was doing a fishing expedition. I should note that in this situation, everything was via Zoom, so there wasn't even an in-person thing. And Tamer apparently got tied up. He was in Greece, so somebody at his office had to step up for him. If you're curious about the name, it's Marianne Borselli. Marianne Marianne Borselli. But the judge called it a fishing expedition, and she also did remark that this was sort of an intent to harass, that these people had really nothing to do with the case in hand. And it's not a good look, because then the judge sees you as somebody who's frivolously tying up the court, adding all these emotions, putting more work and more time that the judge has to deal with. And that's not something a judge likes. The thing that a judge hates most is you trying to bring up things that have absolutely nothing to do with the case, which is exactly what ZDT did. So the judge called this a fishing expedition, said this was an intent to harass other people that have nothing to do with this case. There was some argument in a civil case, can you do that? That isn't even really spelled out. Can you even subpoena people? Because it's an unusual situation. It's not a criminal situation. It's not a criminal investigation. So why would you even subpoena people? You know, if it's just talking about a restraining order, then really the information is between you and that other person. It doesn't make sense. Borselli did try to talk about some case law saying it happened before, and the judge did remark, well, there's nothing spelled out saying you cannot do it, but usually you don't do it. And she did say to the attorney, yes, you're right. You found this information and you can technically do it. But me granting these subpoenas for the reasons that you give is totally not legitimate. So that was kind of a Hail Mary situation, and the judge ruled against all of the subpoenas. So if anybody is wondering if they'll get subpoenaed, the answer is no, no, no. I think no to 5 people that were listed, including myself, that is officially done and gone. On November, there was also an attempt by Merritt McKeon to...
I went over that earlier, Jane. I went over the Hero Like Cody video earlier, for sure.
Even get the attorney fees paid back, the attorney fees resubmitted. That the judge did not rule on one way or the other, and said she would rule on that November 20th. That's an encouraging sign for Minty too, because if the judge didn't feel like attorney fees were necessarily owed, she could have very well ruled right then and there that, you know, they did have a reason to bring this up. He shouldn't have to pay for all of your fees. But the fact that the judge could have not heard that request, the fact that the judge officially validated and said she would hear that request is a very bad sign for ZDT. Because again, with attorney fees and a lot of those issues, the judge could simply say, no, we're not even going to have a hearing on that. So the fact that she did means that Tony is yet again in deep doo-doo, which is unsurprising. So on November 20th, when Minty has her RO battle, there's no conversation about the specifics of the RO or anybody's defense or anything like this. It was just a quick 5-minute, what are we going to do about these subpoenas, which were not successful. So the real kit and caboodle, the real battle will be November 20th. But that's the news. Yet again, another failure by ZDT. Not surprising. He keeps thinking that all these people who feel the need to highlight his misdeeds are all of a sudden going to wither away and be scared and stop their actions. But au contraire, and hey, I thank him for giving me good material to talk about. I appreciate that. But I don't think any of us are backing down or going to compromise ourselves in any way. So A for effort on DDT's situation in that regard. And, you know, I think I said to you guys at the end of October, I'd fly into LA for ZDT's criminal hearing. I'm leaning against it because I don't, you know, I'm not going to, it's okay. I think it's okay to ask for money, like once you're actually there, but I don't want to ask for money to get there. I just don't have the money this time around. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go to London. Much regret that. I really couldn't pay for it. I think even going to California is going to be very tough to pay for. So I think I'm probably 80% likely to skip it, but I still might show up. I don't know. I did buy it one way, but I haven't bought the other ticket back. But I do apologize if I don't go, but it's also in the middle of election season. I've been getting some good momentum covering the mayoral election. So to have to take a crazy flight across the country, to me, it doesn't seem worth it. I don't think I'm financially capable of doing it, regrettably. So I do express my lament, and I know I said I'd go to that, and now I'm less likely to do that. So my apologies. Once EDT has a full trial, I will go to that, because again, at the end of October, he'll have his bail violation hearing. And he might end up in jail then and there, which maybe I will go, because now I'm leaning towards going, because that could be a big deal. But then it's all a risk, right? But then if it doesn't happen, then you fly all the way out there for absolutely no reason. And that's not something I want to do. But I don't want to, beg for money and do it's not necessary. And I'm hoping with the Nora situation, she's the same attorney, that I could probably zoom in for the Nora ZDT RO, which then I really would have to go to LA. So I'm hoping that's the case. But I'll do a lot of mayoral election stuff. Hopefully I will have a rundown of Nora's thing. Maybe I will go. I don't know. If you really want me to go, put it in the comments. But then other than that, once ZDT finally has a trial, I will be there for that. Once DOA finally has a trial, I will be there for that. That's probably not until the winter, because I like to leave the Northeast once it gets cold. So I'm going to cover the Aaron Spencer trial in Arkansas. And I think I was going to cover the primary out in Texas. So once I'm there, and that's probably like February, March, my assumption is ZDT won't have his actual trial until April would be my guess. So I think I probably just drive and stay stationed in LA after all that. And then I'll be there a lot more for the Scientology stuff. So hopefully you can bear with me. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the rundown. And I will be there, even if I'm not physically there, I will be here to give you a rundown as to what happens. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye, guys. Hey, guys, hope you're well. Have a quick...
Oh, I started it over again, guys. Whoops. My goodness. There you go. So that's Dodge's recap. I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. So we got two recaps. We got Hero Light Cody's and Dodge's. And as you guys can see, it's the same story twice. Okay. So very accurate reporting. If Dodge zooms in, I'm all for it. That's fine. I have no objection to people, observing in the courtroom, because that's your right. It's a public hearing. All are welcome. Now, just as a note for that, if you guys do decide to come to the hearing, it is a very small courtroom. And they did hear a lot of cases. So that it was kind of like, it's first come, first serve. And then they make the witnesses sit outside anyway. Yeah. So if you were going to be a witness, then you can't really sit in the court. Well, you can't sit in during the hearing part until you're called. You can watch all the other hearings, but you just can't be witnessing the proceeding prior to you being called in to give your testimony. That was like the rule that the judge had laid out. So, oh, good to see you too, Lady Jane. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here for years. Once that speed was enough for your brain. Guys, I listen to everything at like 2.5 or 3x. Does that make me super weird? It's just easier for me, especially if I'm watching a YouTube video that I need to like scrub through. I don't necessarily like want to listen to the whole... Guys, look at that. Can you guys see that? Is the light showing it? There is a huge patch of sparkles here that's coming in. After I shaved my head, you can really see up here all of the gray. You can't really see it too much in this light, but it is, guys, there's serious grays. But look, it's like almost as long as my fingers now. There you go. Yes, exactly. 100p. No, that's on the 29th. That is Solomon's case is on the 29th, the day after my next hearing. So, one last time, guys, because the grift is strong today, as somebody else pointed out. Gotta get that grift in. It's my GoFundMe. There's the QR dealy bob. Take a picture, do the things. Gray is good sign of wisdom. Thank you. You can't do more than 1.5. I kind of like, some people sound, it's very, sometimes I do have to slow it down when other things are playing, but yeah. Since you were 16, holy cannolis. Exactly, Professor. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's me, guys. That's my pudding right there. If you can, please do. If you can't, it's okay. I'm not running a cult. Okay. It's not a demand. It's an ask. And if you can't, it's okay. But I would greatly appreciate it. It would really help me out, to get back to LA for the hearings. As Dodge is pointing out, tickets, guys, airline fees are only going up right now. The poor TSA guys are not being paid during the government shutdown. There are delays everywhere. I have my fingers crossed that my flights are still happening in the next couple weeks. Yeah. So I will let you guys know. But yeah, court on the 28th for me, and then again on November 4th. You colored all your wisdom away. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna dye it or not. I think I'm gonna let all the grays come in, all the silvers. Mine has been very silvery. And then maybe do something fun, like purple or blue. Maybe I'll just be a blue-haired old lady, you know. I don't know. Yeah, everything is going up, Jane. You said it. You said it. All right, everybody. Well, unless anybody has a burning question right now, that's really all I got for you today. I'm going to get back to it, as Chit would say, back to it then. And, other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, as always, to my lady mods for being here, keeping this stream right and tight, keeping everything going. Thank you to my members. I couldn't do any of this without you guys. Oh. There's going to be a protest in Edinburgh, Scotland, with JoJo and Irish and T on the 27th. That's Monday. Monday, the 27th. Be there. I knew what you meant. See, I translated it without you even saying it again, T. Edinburgh. Yes. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you, guys. And I will see you all, as always, on the Flippity.